The agenda for today's webinar, I'll provide a brief overview of Dynamics 365 Field Service. Hang on a second here. I think we're having some issues with our display. Thank you, Ken. All right, you should be seeing the agenda here. Okay, let's get restarted here. All right, so the agenda for today's presentation. An introduction to Dynamics 365, including field service, case management to field agents, schedule and manage resources, closing out field incidents, field service mobile app, and the question and answer session. So a little bit about Dynamics 365 if you're not familiar with it. For the most part, enterprise level business solutions and databases have been siloed with little interoperability or integration. Dynamics 365 provides you one connected platform in which you can manage your internal and customer facing processes. So from lead capture to sales and contracting, scheduling to install or construction, break fix to predictive maintenance, inventory tracking to billing. It's the holy grail of all your customer related sales processes, all the data, all the processes, marketing data, sales data, all the product and inventory, all in one database that you can easily manage and access. We're going to look a little bit at the licensing construct here. If you're familiar with Dynamics CRM, this is a little bit different. Dynamics 365 contains many of the same functionalities, but they are put together and licensed differently than you may be used to. So first of all, Dynamics 365 is comprised of the modules that you see here. Microsoft refers to them as apps. Sales and marketing are consolidated in one app, field service in another. Customer service is its own app, as well as project service automation. There are additional apps, power apps, and team member licenses. We're not going to get into those too much today. So what's neat about this is you can just license the functionality you need. So in the past, ERP solutions were very broad, very complex, somewhat difficult and expensive to deploy. With Dynamics 365, you can just choose the pieces and parts that are important to driving your business and license and implement just those. You can buy these apps individually. List price is $95 per user per month. If you buy them bundled, you can get them for $115 per user per month, and that is referred to as a plan. So just to review, you can buy these apps individually. List price is $95 per user per month. If you need 2 or more apps, you can get a great deal. You just pay an additional $20 and you get the enterprise plan, which includes everything you see here. All right, so let's just talk a little bit about the benefits that you get with Dynamics 365 for field service. You can eliminate your hard copy work orders completely. So those stacks and stacks of paper that have been moving around your office, going from trucks to the back office, crushed with ink or oil or whatever all over them, we can eliminate that entirely. Resource allocation and scheduling can be automated. You've got intelligent routing and mapping, so you don't waste time running all over around a geographic territory, assigning and dispatching your field salespeople, or excuse me, field service people. There's electronic signature capture and field maintenance scheduling for future predictive and warranty kind of maintenance. Easier inventory management and integrated customer billing back to financials, operations, or other financial systems. All right, so I'm going to pass the baton, so to speak, to Ken Farmer, and he's going to take over from here, show you a couple of slides, and provide a live demonstration of Dynamics 365 Field Service.
Thanks, Mark. Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. My name, as Mark said, is Ken Farmer. I'm the President and Chief System Architect for let's stick with your, I'm sorry, Mark, let's stick with your presentation. We've still got the 2 slides to see.
Oh, okay.
So we should see your screen. So what my role is here, of course, is I manage the consulting folks. I've been involved in Dynamics CRM, now Dynamics 365, since its inception. I've been working with the product since beta version 1. And I got to say, the enhancements, the pieces and parts that we're seeing today inside of Dynamics 365 is extremely exciting. The added functionality, the field service piece especially, but also project service automation and some of the other great apps that Microsoft is delivering to us on a fairly rapid release cycle. So today we're going to focus on field service. Now, field service by itself is a big subject, and generally can be a 3, 4, 5, even an 8-hour demo, depending upon how granular and scenario specific it is. Today we're going to try and respect your time, and we're not going to take all day, but I do encourage you, if you like what you see, if you've got additional questions after our session today, please don't hesitate to contact Mark or myself. We'll be happy to spend some time with you talking about deeper level functionality. Today we're really just going to touch on the highlights. So if we look at the slide that's up on the screen right now, we really try and classify field service implementations into 4 different levels. As you increase the level number, you also increase the level of granularity within the system, the level of, not necessarily the level of complexity, but definitely the deliverability of deeper functionality within the field service module itself. So a customer, say, can be really focused on just delivering level 1 out of the gate. They want to try and provide work order functionality, scheduling of resources, building resource skill sets, being able to use the inherent AI that's built into the system to schedule effectively. They want to be able to do a little bit of field level mobile configuration, so that your agents in the field can pull up their mobile app and be able to see what they need to do, enter information in on scene, get a signature on scene. All of those pieces and parts really we look at from a schedule, a dispatch type level in level 1. Level 2 takes it a little bit deeper, moving into SLAs, contracts, agreements, and really focusing on a lot of preventative maintenance type of events. So for instance, we've got a customer now that's looking at trying to get to level 2 as quickly as they possibly can, because that's their biggest pain point, is trying to manage the sheer number of agreements they've got and preventive maintenance type related visits that they need to take care of. Level 3 takes it a little bit deeper into managing customer assets. Customer ABC has these pieces of equipment on site with serial numbers, with their own specific preventive maintenance schedules, with their own specific warranty schedules, and all the pieces that are involved there. And then finally, level 4 is even deeper yet, dealing with product inventory, dealing with multiple warehouses. Perhaps you've got a series of people out in the field with their own trucks, and each one of those trucks has their own inventory. You are adding in purchase orders, RMAs, all of the encompassing that entire inventory management function, which is out of the box. So as we look at this chart real quickly, all of these pieces and parts within field service really come deliverable out of the box. Now there's quite a bit of configuration that has to happen, getting your own resources in, their skill sets, that kind of thing. But the functionality is there. Tweaking it, adjusting it, and configuring it to your specific situation is much easier, of course, than trying to customize and code and try and build out your industry stuff using a level of code that's really not required inside of Dynamics 365 Field Service. So today we're going to focus high level. We're going to hit a little bit, mostly in level 1, although we'll touch slightly on some level 4 pieces. So Mark, if you can go ahead and advance the next slide. Everything within field service, if you boil it all down from a process to a process level, you're really dealing with the scheduling, accepting calls, whether it's through your customer service desk or whatever the case may be, and getting to the point where you're creating a work order, and that work order is what's going to drive the process around scheduling your resources, identifying the right resources, getting people out in the field with the proper tools, proper parts perhaps that they need. So you can see here on the left-hand side, you've got agreements, cases, sales orders feeding into that work order creation. We're not going to touch on all of those. We're going to look at cases today and how you can convert a case very easily, very rapidly into a work order. And then we're going to walk that work order through a top-level process. Once the work order is created, we're going to do some scheduling. We're going to work, either the person's going to be dispatched, they're going to go out in the field. We're going to take a look at the mobile app and how they interact with that and how they close out their project and then move through. So again, we've got, I've got about 30 minutes for the demo, and we should be able to get a really good visualization of how this works and how the Dynamics 365 Field Service piece works. All right, Mark, I'm going to take over. If you can give me a presentation again, thank you. We're going to show monitor. And how's that look, Mark?
Looks good.
Great. All right. So this is Dynamics 365. If you haven't seen it yet, there's a ton of functionality in here that we would love to show you at another time. Again, please ping Mark and we'll be happy to set up a specific demo for you around whether it's sales, marketing, or just the customer service side, or obviously throughout the field service piece. This is a straight, regular customer service representative dashboard, and our process today, our demo today, is going to start at the customer service level. So if we drop down, you can see the various pieces and parts. Now this is my demo environment, so this is all demo data. Some of it, most of it hopefully will make sense. I tried to mask a lot of the other stuff that's in here from a data standpoint, so you don't have to even worry about it. Okay, so let's jump right into service, because that's where we're going to start. At the service level, we're going to basically create a case. Somebody calls in, somebody emails in, and has an issue that needs to be addressed, and you need to do a dispatch. So as a customer service representative, I'm going to get that phone, I'm going to get that call or that email, and I'm going to begin the case creation while I'm on the phone with that individual. If you've got it tied to your, if you tie in CRM, Dynamics 365 with your phone system, then obviously you'd get a screen pop that would identify at least who the company is and where you're going. So I'm going to go ahead and as I'm talking to them, I understand these guys are a company called Bagby Brewing. So we'll drill in, we'll find that person. We need to talk to Eva. There we go. And it's going to start the process. So in this ribbon up here, this is our business process flow. And we can set this, configure this, you can configure this so that it meets your needs, or you can turn it off. In this case, it's really a case support customer service type of process. You identify who it is you're talking to, you might do a little research, and there's additional pieces and parts here that you need to complete. And then of course, resolving the case as you move forward. In this case, we're going to take this information. Eva says that she's having some problems with her compressor. So I'm just going to type some information in here, give it a case title, compressor isn't working. The ID will be created. I can further segment, so I can do some reporting. I can do some population of some of these fields using workflow. I'm just going to pull service because this is going to be a service request. I can also automate this, so I'm going to say this was a phone call. So a lot of this can be populated for the customer service agent as they pull this up. Eva reports one of her refrigerator. And if you've never seen me demo before, you know I can't type worth beans here. One of her refrigerators isn't working. All right. There's other fields here that we can fill out, but for right this very second, I'm going to go ahead and save it, which is then going to give me the ability to do a few other things. It's going to expose a few more fields for me. I may still have her on the phone. We're going to go down here and look at, from a field service standpoint, this is going to be an on-site visit. I have a couple of pre-made incident types set up. We're going to choose on-site service. And this can help drive some of that automated workflow for you in the background. Simple on-site service can be anything. If it's preventative maintenance, you know that there's a set period of time you may be out there, some specific equipment you need. All of those then become part of the workflow that's happening in the background to really drive the process and to take some of the onerous data entry off of your customer service team. Okay, so we're set here. This really is pretty much all the information we need. She would like to have somebody come out and take care of it, obviously. So we can do this after the fact, or we can do this while she's on the phone to enter additional information. I'm going to go ahead and convert this right now to a work order, because I know from what she's saying we're going to have to send somebody out. Now, oftentimes people's internal processes are such that you've got one person might be just taking the case and creating the incident and maybe creating a work order from it. Somebody else is doing the scheduling. Maybe there's more than one person involved in the process. I'm going to act today in our demo as the singular person who's handling this. You can see here our work order was already created. I'm going to click OK to bring that work order up directly so we can see what it looks like, maybe add a few more details to it so that we can move forward. So now you can see we're in work order. It's carried over the information that I generated during my case creation. It's brought in, of course, the service account, billing account from the actual account record, Bagby Brewery. If there were any agreements, SLAs, service contracts, those would come over as well. You'd have the ability, if you had multiple, to go ahead and select the one that you're specifically looking for. And you also see that the system status has been set for, this is an open work order, but it's unscheduled. Okay. If we wanted to enter a priority, this is a must happen today kind of a situation, they would go ahead and we could populate this if we wanted to. We're just going to leave it as it is right now. You can see there's no real estimates yet because we haven't set the pieces and parts in play as to what we expect. We're going to just call this a 2-hour on-site service, which is the general time frame for our typical on-site service incident type. They would like to have us there on Friday, so she can say, you can talk to her about, hey, what's the best time for us to come in? Is this, we don't really have anybody today perhaps, but we can get there Friday. So I'm going to go ahead and say, yes, I know, thank you. We're going to go ahead and set this for any time on Friday between 8 and 5, okay? There's some other things here we can fill out if needed and can be populated from workflow automatically if needed. If there's any specific instructions that we want to look for, please ask for Eva when you arrive. So just directions that we're going to be giving to the service tech. It's going to show up on the mobile app for him and on his booking. All right. Some other things, again, this is pretty much out of the box. I haven't made any configuration changes to these forms. So you can relate these back to specific other work orders. So a work order can derive multiple other work orders if needed for follow-up, for handling different pieces of equipment or whatever the case may be. Here's where you would grab the specific agreement contract that manages their service and support that they may have pre-purchased, or whether it's we get free on-site support based on this agreement, whatever the case may be. That's something that is a good 45 minutes to an hour all by itself. You can see that we pulled in automatically the location address where we're going to be delivering the service, pardon me, and then you can also see that it's also identified it for me on this map down below. All right, so I'm going to go up and scroll and take a look, first of all, at the services that we might be delivering. So I know, and I don't have to do this on the phone, but I can do this after the fact to make sure that we begin the billing process correctly. We can just go with an on-site service charge. In this case, we have a service by which it's $125 flat fee. We're going to be basically delivering it to them for this initial service. Now the field tech can change this when he gets there if it turns into something else. But in this case, it's $125 flat fee. All right, some other information that we can put in here if we want to. If there's minimum charges, we can add those, or we can even bring in some additional notes for the service tech. But this is good. This is all I'm going to set up. Save and close that. It's going to then populate this on here for me. And if we are going out for, say, a preventative maintenance, we can actually be bringing in the products. We know that it's going to take, a couple of new filters, or, whatever the package is, whatever the kit is, perhaps, that's going to go out on a preventative maintenance service call, so that we can make sure that those products start getting allocated right away out of inventory, or we can make sure that they're being billed correctly. So you may have products that are included in the service, but you want to make sure that they're being allocated and decremented out of your existing inventory. All right. We can also add service tasks if there are other tasks that need to be completed. Again, like I said, this can get very, very deep and very, very granular, or we can just keep it pretty simple and just deliver a service and get your field tech out and get them scheduled. Okay, so we're set here. Now the next step in this process, of course, we can just pass this off. It's going to go to somebody who's actually in charge of scheduling. Some people call that traffic, so that they can get the right people out to the right locations at the right time. We're going to go ahead and do this ourselves, and we're going to do it at a very basic level. So there's a couple of different ways to do this, and I want to show you this window first. If you've got specifics in the work order that detail out, it's this piece of equipment, it's going to require this skill set from our folks. So for instance, if this, in this case, this is somebody who has to know for refrigeration. So you would have a skill set about being on site and dealing with refrigeration. You can attach various levels of proficiency to the different resources that you have, the different service techs. This guy's just learning it. He's at a 1 level. This person is good. They've done some stuff. We would call it. They're at a say a 2 level. They're moderately good at it. And then you've got a 3 level where the person's extremely proficient. You can send them out on any call, and then you can really build a profile around what you're going to be looking for when you try and book it. In this case, we wanted to keep it relatively straightforward. So I'm going to click this book button here, and it's going to bring up the booking window. All right. Yes, it is. Trust me. There it is. So this is a variation of the scheduling window that I'm going to show you here momentarily, but it's out there looking and doing a search based off of the information that you put in, and it says we have to modify our search criteria. Wine equipment repair, that was what we were looking for, and the time frame from 8 to 5. All right, so obviously there might be some people that they don't quite meet up with the requirement. So what we're going to do is we're going to get real granular on it now. So if we look over here, we see we have a list of work orders. We're going to go ahead and, 4 of them are scheduled, that they're open, 1 is unscheduled. So what we're going to do is we're going to go out to the schedule board. And the schedule board inside of Field Service allows you to look at all of your resources within a certain criteria. For instance, it opens up, and this is my default view. I've got, just so you know, for the demo data purposes, I've got close to 100 different resources in here. So I filtered it down. I'm only looking for resources with that technician level. If I was to drop that out, re-engage my search, you can see that's going to bring up 41 people. So we want to kind of keep it a little bit more refined and build that around. So I'm going to say go back to technician, and I'm going to search it, and it comes back with, what do you know, Ken Farmer and Abraham McCormick. Now you can see here that we've started out with today, so it just defaults out to today. I'm going to advance this forward because we're looking at Friday. And we can see that this gentleman, Abraham, has pretty much an all-day thing he's out for. He's out for 5 hours, going up until 4 o'clock. So this is a 2-hour period of time that we're looking for, so he wasn't selected. Ken Farmer has the ability to do what we're looking for. He's come in here with, he has the various skills you can see here, and these graphs, if you just hover over it, the graphs are providing you with the skill that this person has and the level of proficiency. The bigger the graph, the longer the graph. So for instance here, he's at a level 2 for accounting and finance, 3 for agile methodology, and then of course in his spare time he does wine equipment repair, and he's fully proficient. Sorry, it's bouncing around me, fully proficient there. We also have different roles. So not only within the skill sets, but we then have the different roles that a person may fulfill. Now, most of this is going to come about in the project service automation module, which is a whole different animal, and we won't be touching on that today. But you can really see that this, the different skills that these people have and their abilities. So right in the window, without having to jump around to another window, you can really see what's there. So let's take a look at our unscheduled work orders. So down here along the bottom, you can see that we've got everything listed out here. We can just look at various projects here, or we can go and look at unscheduled work orders. So in this case, I've got this one work order, 2-hour duration. We promised them from 8 to 5 sometime. So I'm going to take a look and see who we're going to probably assign. So real quickly, super easy here. You can see that we're not going to assign Abram. He's busy this whole day. He's not going to be able to make it. So by switching over to the map view, I can kind of see all of the different work orders. So each one of these pins represents a work order. I can hover over it and it'll say, hey, this is work order number 4. The guy's going to be here from 1 to 3, 2 hours, and the estimated arrival time is, of course, 1 o'clock. I can hover over this second one, and you can see that this is the early work order for Ken, work order number 3, and you can see in our graph that's represented here. So I'm looking at this, I'm going, well, we absolutely need to get him out there, and we want a 2-hour time window that's going to work, because this one is set up so closely. There's no allowance for travel time, right? So that's why the system came back and didn't give us anything in that first booking window, because it's only looking for the people that fit the criteria and are going to be available during the period of time that you've promised them. So I'm looking at this, and we've got obviously a couple days before Friday, and I'm going to try and do some rescheduling. So I'm going to want to move Ken Farmer, and I'm thinking these locations are going to be fairly close, and actually you'll see that this is the same location as one of the other ones he's going to, but just we're going to assume it's different. So I'm going to go ahead and take, and just by dragging and dropping, I'm going to move this over and have him start at 8 o'clock. And it's going to move some things around for me. It now gives me a good 10 to noon window with a little bit of travel time in here, so that now I can take and book this and just move it up here. So again, I can just drag and drop as the technician. I'm going to go ahead and drop it in that spot, or excuse me, not the technician, but the scheduler. I'm going to put it in that spot, and now Ken has a couple of different locations. He's got a couple of different jobs he needs to go to. He's got time here for lunch, and possibly even time for some additional stuff in the afternoon. Now, the beauty of this schedule board is it's incredibly flexible for your schedulers. They have the ability to create different views. We can create a different set of filters, a different set of views, depending upon how you want to group your work orders, group your resources. You have the ability to set these up with territories. So if we go back to the filter real quick, you see that we have various territories here. You see we have organizational units. So if you're running a nationwide call center and dispatch center, you have the ability to break it out. So you've got different territories that your resources are working in, so that you can see the different people that are going to be available in that area. So it'll filter out based off of, in this case, the characteristics. You know, I want wine equipment repair, and I want a certain level of proficiency. Or I can look at different teams perhaps that are set up within the organization. So you have the ability to be very, very granular about how you set up your resources, how you set up the different service types and service incident types. You may have a group of plumbers that all they do, they're going out and hitting the various plumbing jobs that you've got. You've got a whole different group that has preventative maintenance, another group that deals with roofing issues. So depending upon your organization and the skill sets of your people, the location of your people, the types of products that they can work with, and even how you want to configure that person's time is all pretty much controlled through the field service app out of the box. These are configuration issues, not customization. So looking at this, we can certainly break this down, change it into a day screen more than, let's go back a week to the current week. Whoops. Here we go. So he's got some time, and he's booked out on here on Thursday. And let's look at the 7th on Friday. Okay, so he's pretty booked out for his day. Here's Ken. He's got 5.5 hours, and you can see the different colors are telling you, is this guy overbooked, underbooked? Where we see the different percentages. For the week, Ken's at 4%. For the day, if we go back to the days, then you're going to be able to look at it. Oops, sorry, here we go, hours. So Ken's booked out for the day, we're on the 7th, at 61%, whereas this gentleman is at 89%. Now, I can click on the work order, and it's going to deliver me the details over here. So again, the key here is your dispatch people, your scheduling people are trying to take care of things in a single window. They're not having to go and pop open the work order and get the details. All the details exist here, and they can drill into it if they wanted to, and they can change some of the information if it's a changeable field. This has already been assigned, so the resource is here as well. If we wanted just to really look at the map view and drill these out, we can change the scale of each one of these little windows. We can go ahead and drill in, drill out. We can see where they're located, where they're going from one job to another. So if we get a call that's an emergency call, we can see who's in the general area and do some rescheduling for them. Okay. All right, so that's the scheduling, that's the field service board. Now I want to go in with you and look at the mobile clients, okay? We're gonna start with the tablet client. Let me enter my password here. And I'm going to go ahead and remove that. There we go. So this is what the mobile client looks like for tablets. It's available for all form factors. It's available for iPhone, Android phone, and the two of you out there with Windows phones, you will also have the app array available for you. You can see here that these are the apps that the field service technicians are going to be using in the field. So I'm, in this role, I'm a technician, Ken Farmer. I want to start taking a look at, I can go to a dashboard view and see active work orders by type. I can, we've made a couple of changes here since I initially launched this. So let me just do a quick sync. And we're good to go. So now I'm going to go back to the dashboard and we can take a look at day, week, as an individual, and you'll see all I see here is my stuff. I'm a technician in the field. I don't necessarily see anybody else's stuff by default. Now we can certainly configure that. If you've got a supervisor out in the field and he wants to see multiple people, we definitely can configure the client to be able to show you that. I can go in and take a look at the work orders, the active work orders that are out there. I don't know if you can see this, if it comes through well on the screen. I can search for them, I can filter, I can do it by work order number, I can do the sorting, all kinds of different things. Or I can go and specifically look at my work orders, or excuse me, my bookings. So I'm going to scroll over, I'm going to get the agenda view for, if you can't see it, it's grayed out here, it's Friday the 7th. And here are those three sessions that I have from 8 o'clock, here's one at 10 o'clock, here's one at 1 o'clock. And I can see here as a technician, wow, these are actually the same location. So I may be able to do knock both of these out at the same time while I'm there. Just really depends on what's going on and what the service is. I can also open each one of these. So I can grab this one here at 8 o'clock. It's going to pull up the information for me. This is being fed directly in. And something I want to point out while we're here, these icons across the top, this means I'm online. I've got Wi-Fi on my device. I am connected to the internet and I'm directly connected to our system. So I'm online. I can do a sync. This is the sync icon. Now I can also go offline. And by going offline, I have the ability to go in and see some of the same information. I can pull up that work order because it synced that information down for me, and I can still interact with it. I can still work with it, and then when I get to a point where I'm back in Wi-Fi range, or back to my house, or back to the office, whatever the case may be, everything then will go ahead and sync back up. So in this case, I'm going to stay online and look at my bookings. Okay. And we'll go out and look at Friday. So I'm going to start with this one here at 8 o'clock. And I'm going to be able to go out on site now. And with my tablet, I'm standing there talking to the individual. I can go in here and say, okay, do I have any instructions here? On this one, I don't. On the other one that I set up, I did. I can see here's a map, and I can use the tablet functionality, the inherent tablet functionality on routing and GPS to go ahead and give me driving directions if I don't know where I'm going. I see that here I'm doing on-site service. There's really no other information here, but here's the schedule, and when I'm all done, I can grab the signature. So I'm going to spend some time with them. I'm going to go ahead and start doing the work, and then I can go ahead and enter information as I go to update this. So primary incident information, I went in, she told me what was going on, what the problem was. In this case, they didn't really give me much information when they took the call. So I can go in here and enter it in using the tablet keyboard. because I'm on my computer and I'm just representing it here, I'm going to use my computer keyboard. So I can go in here and say they are having issues with some equipment. I can call it out if I want to, and you'll notice as we scroll down, if they had some inherent products included, some things that they were going to say, I know they have certain pieces of equipment out there, we're on a support contract, that equipment is going to be have serialized, you know, I have to go out and take care of warranty on a specific piece of equipment. It's going to be represented in here for me. It's going to show me exactly what piece of equipment is. It's called a customer asset, and what I need to do with that asset. Okay, so the other piece here too, as I'm going through is, and I'm not going to do it in this one because I'll show it to you on my my phone. I've got another client I want to show you. But when you're out in the field, you have the ability to take pictures. So that service technician that's out in the field can snap a picture, have it included in the record of here's the part that wasn't working and here's why. Here's the wiring that was chewed up, or here's looks like somebody snapped off a bolt or whatever the case is. So before they actually get in and start removing that piece of equipment, they can go in and snap a picture of it, then go and do the repair and snap another picture of the repaired piece. So it really helps you contain problems later by having some sort of a record in here. And I'm gonna actually show you that in the other client I've got, since my computer is pointed at me and I don't want to move my computer around to give you a good picture. Okay, and you have the ability to go in here and set activities. So if I needed to set a follow-up activity on this work order, I could go in here and say I need to schedule another appointment, another service activity, or maybe just a phone call task. The phone call is somebody at customer service calling them in 2 weeks to follow up. So if I do that, the subject here is follow-up. What day it's going to be, it's actually going to end up being on next week, a week from the service call, and 11 o'clock is fine. Okay, it's going to be outgoing. Please call to follow up on repair. Now, the nice thing about all of this being tied to Dynamics 365 is these follow-up kind of activities can be completely automated in the background. So you can set triggers that say at the successful completion of a work order, set a follow-up phone call activity for 7 days from now. So you can really get into leveraging the system to do what's needed. In this case, I'm doing it here just because I want it to be set up for me. Then I can go back to my work order. You can see that this is now an activity that's outlined here for me. Okay, and from this what I'm working on here, I see in that I may need a new product. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up a product. New compressor. The estimate. Oh, sorry, I did it the wrong spot. Oh, here it is. So now I'm going to grab the compressor, and I can even say this replacement is warranty. Need RMA. And then that can actually be triggered by the back office, and it can go ahead and be added into the billing. It can go ahead and be added into the back office process. Okay. And so we're all set here. I'm all done. I can set the actual arrival time. I got there on Friday. This is just for recording purposes. Actual arrival time was actually at 8 o'clock, just like it was supposed to. And all of this information now is being fed back into the system. So if I wanted to look at CRM, or excuse me, at Dynamics 365 as a dispatcher, I would be able to look at the work orders and see where we're actually, is this person here? Where is my guy located? I traveled 10 miles. I can set my actual duration if I want to, or if there's a cost involved. So the technician has everything they need right there in front of them. They can obviously scroll this, make it as big or as small as they need to. It's on their tablet. If there's any instructions here, they would be populated too. So now I'm done. There is no, because this is a warranty service, there really is no amount that's going to be billed. I'm going to go ahead and save this first. Okay, saving. There we go. Let me just pull it back up here. All right, so now I'm ready to finish up. So I go to the person at the location and say, hey, Eva, I'm all wrapped up. We've got the new compressor. It's working. Would you go ahead and sign this? And I hand over my tablet, and I'm doing this with my mouse. She goes ahead and signs it. I take it over. I say, great. I go ahead and save the record, and we move on. I can go over to the next scheduled booking, and we can go ahead and say that this work order, whoops, sorry. I dropped it out. Okay, so let's go ahead and pull up our other phone. It's on my other screen because I don't want you to watch me put in my password. There we go. There we go. Let me pull up the Dynamics. There we go. Hang on one second. I'm sorry. I'm entering my password because I don't want all of you to see my password. All right. So this is that same app, but it's running on my Android phone. And so I've got my Android phone shown here on the screen. I've got that same list of bookings. So I can go over here, and it of course defaults to today. So I can go take a look and see what we've got. I can go ahead and let's see here. We should have synced up, pulled this up, and here's that booking record. You can see here that the miles that I went ahead and entered. I can scroll down. They're having some issues. So you see my notes are all there. So everything has been fed back to the main system, and I can now go in and even all the way down see that we added in an RMA beverage dispenser compressor all the way down to any notes that maybe I added. And you can see here that we've actually got, it's a little file that gets saved on the signature. So you don't necessarily see, well, in this case you would see the signature here, but it's also saved as a file within the system. So it's displayed down below, but it is of course shown there. And you see across the top here, these, if you can see that, those are, so you don't have to continue to scroll all the way down. You can just go to that location. So I want to say, I want to go back up to payments, if there were any payments made. If I took a credit card, if I could link this to a credit card system, and then I had, say, a little square reader that I plug into my phone or my tablet, I could go ahead and collect payment if there's a payment due right there in the field. I can go look at the different products, any service tasks that may have been there. I can grab the map. So again, it's set for the form factor, and each form factor brings to it a little bit different functionality as you need to go in. And so instead of scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling to find what you need, you can just go straight to it by touching that piece in the menu across the top. Okay? So we're pretty much done with this, and I can go take a look at the top, and I can say, hey, you know what? I am now completed. I've completed this work order. I'm going to go ahead and, oops, sorry. Start time must be, oh, I flashed off this earlier than the end time. Oh, sorry. It's not the same day. Okay, There we go. Let's save that. And it's now going to show that we have a completed work order and we're pretty much done. You see that it's fallen off of my list of work orders that I need to do, and that information has been passed back to the office. So real quickly, let's go back here, and I want to take a quick look and show you that I'm not just smoke and mirrors. So we can go in here and basically go through and refresh this, and here's that work order, and you can see that it's completed. If I open up this work order now here in the office, I have the ability to process it. If you remember that chart I showed you, that flow graph, I can now go ahead and turn this into an invoice if I choose to. All right, there's all kinds of different things I can do, assign new activities, do some different alerts, or I can go ahead now and convert this work order directly into an invoice. Okay, that's pretty much the process that we have time for today. Again, I want to reiterate that it is a process and it is configurable to your process. It's something that we don't, and Microsoft doesn't shoehorn you into, this is how you have to work your service process, your field service operations. This can be used for everything from construction to folks in the field doing, say, solar or other pieces in the construction trade, to plumbing, to HVAC repair. All kinds of different industries within that bucket can use the Dynamics 365 Field Service app and configure it for their specific operations. Okay, Mark, that's it. If we have any questions, we can certainly answer them. If not, we can sign off.
Yeah, we have a couple questions, Ken. One is, can we customize the mobile client to minimize text-based data entry, for instance, with pull-down menus or buttons?
Yeah, absolutely. As part of our implementation, that's a great question. As part of our implementation, we go in and work with you on how best to be able to do that. So when we look at that mobile client, we want to be able to, oh, sorry, that's me and my wife. Let me pull that over here while I enter my password in. So you can see now why I had it on the other side, so you guys don't look at my fat belly on the beaches of St. Martin. All right, let me go back. Okay, so with setting up the mobile client, you can see that some of this is definitely dropped down already. So if we click on that, we can just select these instead of having to type the information in, and this helps drive what you're doing and drive reporting and help you really truly work efficiently in the field. So your team can do what they need to do without having to type in a bunch of information. Obviously, you want some instructions and things for them that they can just read, which is awesome, but you don't necessarily want them, for instance here, incident customer asset, click to select, we could certainly provide that asset in there for you. Okay, so yes, the answer is yes, we highly recommend it, and it's something we would work with you on.
Okay, another question. Can a field supervisor modify an existing work order or create a new work order based on, something that happens out in the field? Maybe something unexpected.
Yes, absolutely. And even the field technician, if they are out there and they see that there's other issues that need to be addressed, maybe not today, but on another day, with the proper permission set, that field technician can go ahead and create a work order themselves and assign it to themselves if they wanted to right on the spot. So they definitely have the ability to do all of that for you.
Okay, so here's a good one. Will a field tech have access to knowledge base, for instance, buried pipes or electric wires in an area where they may be digging?
So I think what the question is asking is if we have that information, that knowledge base contained within CRM, if it's something that we already have, then the answer is yes, absolutely. You can tie to the mobile app file folders sitting on your SharePoint site, for instance, where you may have a diagram of the underground piping. So you can, pull that up from the handheld and be able to work with it and make sure that you've got all the current information that you need to do your job.
Okay, another question regarding billing. So does closing out a work order trigger a workflow that indicates customer an invoice should be sent out, or does that have to be done manually?
It can be done both ways. So oftentimes the financial folks want some sort of a check and balance. They want to be able to view the work order, make sure the proper information is all there, make sure that the billing information has been populated correctly, make sure that it's truly an RMA and that the RMA process is started, for instance. And then they can go in and check that at the work order level, and then go ahead and from there close out the work order and create what they need for invoicing. You can also do that automatically. So if you've got a pretty straightforward process in the field, everything is billable, and we're going to actually go ahead and collect payment at the time of the service, then the workflow in the background will go ahead and finalize that process for you, even to the point of you may have an completed invoice, paid receipt, emailed to the customer from your Dynamics 365 system. So once it's completed in the field, triggers that workflow and says, okay, finalize, create the invoice, mark it as paid, show the payment amount, and then send them a copy, a PDF copy of that.
Another question, can we create alerts respective of crews that may be falling behind in getting a work order or a project completed?
Yes. So you saw where I was in the mobile client and I put down my actual arrival time. So because that's feeding back into Dynamics 365, we have the full force of the workflow engine and the process engines to be able to identify that, hey, this guy was scheduled out here at 3, but he's showing up at 4 o'clock. And that can then trigger an alert to a supervisor or to a scheduler to say, hey, we might want to look at his other on-site visits and his other work orders that we may need to start reorganizing a little bit.
Yeah, and I think this individual was referring more to a crew than an individual, say on a construction crew.
So again, with the amount of information that you enter, anything that you enter in can be repositioned, can be used in workflow. Anything can trigger a piece of workflow that says, hey, we've got this crew out here, we've got this truck out here, this truck and crew is going to be needed somewhere else. So you can schedule a work order not just for an individual, but for a crew, an entire crew, and that crew may have a truck or 2 trucks that are included in this entire service that you're delivering. So yes, it can certainly grab the whole package and everybody that's assigned to a work order and move them off to something else.
All right, well that takes us to 11:01 West Coast time. I wanted to thank everybody for attendance today. If you have any questions, you should see my contact information on the screen. You'll also be receiving a follow-up email tomorrow with information, contact information, and a link to the recording of today's session so you can review it or share it with a colleague. Thanks again for your time, and everyone have a great day.
Thanks, everybody.